Have you ever felt like your life is on repeat? You wake up, follow the same routine, meet the same people, think the same thoughts, and deep down, something inside you whispers, there must be more than this. You try to change, but no matter how hard you push, it feels like you're walking in circles. That's not coincidence. That's the pattern of your current reality holding you in place. But what if you could leap out of it instantly? What if change didn't have to take years? What if, in a single decision, a single energetic shift, you could step into a completely new version of yourself? That's what this video is all about. Today you're going to learn how to actually quantum leap, how to move beyond slow progress, and enter a reality that feels almost impossible from where you stand right now. And we're not talking about wishful thinking. We're talking about real transformation, where the version of you that already has what you desire becomes the one living your life. In science, a quantum leap happens when an electron suddenly jumps from one energy level to another, instantly, without passing through the space in between. It doesn't crawl, it doesn't climb. It jumps. One moment it's here, the next, it's somewhere completely new. That's the metaphor we'll explore in this video. Because in life, just like in the quantum field, small continuous effort isn't the only way to evolve. Sometimes, a leap, a radical inner shift, is what's needed to rewrite your reality entirely. People often feel stuck because they try to change from the same level of thinking that created their current situation. They want something new while staying attached to old beliefs, old fears, and old stories about who they are. They say, "I'll believe it when I see it," but the truth is, you'll see it when you believe it. That's where most people fail. They focus on fixing their outer world, but their inner frequency stays the same. The result? Different actions, same outcome. In this video, we'll uncover how that process really works. You'll learn how to identify the energy of your current reality, how to connect with the version of you that's already living your dream, and how to shift your state so powerfully that the outer world has no choice but to catch up. This isn't about theories or vague motivation. It's about understanding how reality actually bends when you change who you believe you are. Stay with me until the end, because by the time this video finishes, you won't just understand what a quantum leap is, you'll know how to begin creating one. You'll see that the power to change everything isn't somewhere out there, it's in the next thought you choose, the next feeling you allow, the next belief you claim as true. Your next reality is waiting. All you have to do is leap. Before we talk about the how, let's first look at what's really happening behind the scenes of your reality. Science tells us that at the smallest level, everything in existence is energy. Nothing is truly solid. Even the chair you're sitting on, the phone in your hand, the thoughts running through your mind, all of it is energy vibrating at different frequencies. And according to quantum theory, energy doesn't just exist in one fixed state. It exists in many possible states at once, in something called superposition. In this state, all outcomes are possible, but only one becomes visible when it's observed or chosen. That's where the idea of multiple timelines begins. Think of the universe as a giant quantum field, a field of infinite potential. Within it exist countless realities, all playing out simultaneously. There's a version of you who already has the dream job, another who chose a different city, another who found peace, another who didn't. These realities aren't separate worlds far away. They're potential versions of the same energy expressing itself differently. In every moment, you're interacting with this field, whether you realize it or not. You are both the observer and the creator, shaping your timeline through what you pay attention to, what you expect, and what you believe is possible. Now, here's where consciousness enters the story. Consciousness, the awareness of being alive, of thinking, feeling, and choosing, acts like the observer in the quantum experiment. When you focus your awareness on one possibility, you give it energy, and that energy starts to take form. You collapse the wave of infinite potential into one tangible experience. In simple words, you tune in to one version of reality out of many that already exist. The universe doesn't force that choice on you. Your own consciousness does. That's why your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions are so powerful. They aren't just ideas floating in your head. They're signals broadcast into the quantum field, shaping what you experience next. When you think in fear, you match with timelines where fear grows. When you think with love and faith, you align with versions of reality where those qualities reflect back to you. This is not about forcing positivity or ignoring pain. It's about realizing that your inner world is a transmitter, constantly communicating with the energy around you. The field is neutral. It only mirrors the vibration you send out. Imagine your consciousness as a radio. Each belief, each feeling, is a frequency. If you tune into a channel of doubt, you'll hear more reasons to doubt. But if you shift your dial to certainty, gratitude, or possibility, the universe responds with experiences that match that signal. This is how shifting timelines happens, not through physical travel but through energetic alignment. You don't move across realities, you allow a new version of reality to move toward you. It's important to remember, though, that this isn't strict physics. We're not claiming you can teleport across universes or rewrite atomic structures. These are metaphors drawn from the language of quantum science, used to describe something very real but deeply personal, the way your inner state shapes your outer life. The power of these ideas lies in how they help you understand yourself. When you see that your energy is creative, not passive, you begin to interact with the world differently. You realize that every thought, every feeling, every belief is part of a greater field of possibility, and that field is always listening to you. Look closely at your habits, the small invisible actions that repeat every day. These are powerful indicators of your identity. If you say you want transformation but live by habits of fear, procrastination, or self-doubt, your energy is sending mixed signals to the universe. Every habit you hold either reinforces your current timeline or opens the door to a new one. It's not just about what you do, but why you do it. Are your actions born from belief, or from lack, from faith, or from fear? Then move deeper. Ask yourself, who am I showing up as right now? Not who I want to be someday, but who I'm actually being today. How do I talk to myself? How do I carry myself when no one is watching? The version of you that exists in this moment is the one shaping your current reality. If you're constantly shrinking, doubting, or waiting for proof before you act, you're anchoring yourself in the timeline where you remain the same. But if you begin to observe your patterns, you can start shifting them consciously. Your environment is another mirror. The people around you, the spaces you live in, the conversations you entertain, all of them reflect your current level of awareness. If your surroundings are full of distractions, negativity, or reminders of limitation, your energy absorbs that message. That's why change often begins with small external shifts, cleaning, letting go of draining relationships, or spending more time in places that inspire. You become what you are surrounded by, and your outer world constantly reinforces your inner state. Now ask yourself the hard questions. What am I tolerating that I don't want anymore? What thoughts, habits, or emotions have I allowed to live rent-free in my mind? What version of me have I been showing up as, and does that version reflect who I truly am? These questions aren't meant to make you uncomfortable, they're meant to awaken clarity, because clarity is power. The more clearly you see your present state, the easier it becomes to define your next one. When you stop running from now and start understanding it, something magical happens. You begin to separate your true self from your current situation. You realize that what you're living is not who you are, but a reflection of what you've been believing. That awareness alone is the first step toward the leap. Once you can see the patterns holding you in place, you can begin to release them. You can start to think, act, and feel as the person who belongs to the reality you're ready to step into. The clearer your now, the stronger your signal to the universe about where you want to go next. Now that you've become aware of where you are, it's time to imagine where you want to go. Most people say they want change, but when asked what that change looks like, they can't describe it clearly. The universe responds to clarity. Energy needs direction. If you want to quantum leap, you must create a vivid version of the life you want to step into, so clear that you can almost touch it. Close your eyes and begin to build that version in your mind. Who are you in that reality? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? What do your surroundings look like? The more detail you give it, the more real it becomes in your consciousness. Imagine yourself walking through that life. Feel the air, the sounds, the pace of your days. If abundance is your goal, picture the calm confidence that comes with never worrying about lack. If love is what you seek, imagine the warmth of being deeply understood and appreciated. If peace is your desire, Sense the quiet in your mind, the ease in your body, the absence of struggle. You're not pretending or daydreaming. You're tuning into a frequency that already exists in potential. You're reminding yourself that this reality isn't something to create from nothing. It's something to select from what already exists. Everything that could ever happen is already encoded within the field of possibility. Think of it like channels on a television. All the programs exist simultaneously, but you only see the one you tune into. When you focus your energy on the version of your life you desire, you begin to align with its frequency. You don't have to force it or chase it. You simply need to match it. That's why belief is the key. You have to know, not just hope, that this version of you already exists somewhere in parallel or within the potential of your own being, and that you have the power to step into it. This belief might feel strange at first. Your logical mind might resist it. It may say, "How can I believe in something I can't see yet?" But every creation begins unseen. The building you're in was once an idea. The phone in your hand began as a vision. The same principle applies here. Your new reality begins in the invisible realm of thought and feeling before it becomes visible. When you think from that new place, you shift your vibration, and the universe responds by reorganizing itself around your new identity. So take a few moments each day to dwell in that version of yourself. Speak as if you already have what you want. Walk as if it's already yours. Let yourself feel the gratitude, the relief, the joy. If living in, feel the tension, leave your body, as you realize you no longer need to chase. It already exists. You're simply aligning with it. When you hold that feeling long enough, something begins to move. You start to sense that the line between imagination and reality is thinner than you ever thought. And that's where transformation begins, not in striving, but in knowing that your desire is already waiting for you to claim it. Before your life changes on the outside, it first shifts on the inside. Everything in the universe vibrates. Every atom, every cell, every emotion. Nothing is still. This vibration is what we call frequency. Your feelings, your thoughts, and your overall energy each carry a frequency, just like notes in a song. When the frequencies of your inner world and your desire match, the quantum leap happens. You no longer chase what you want. You become a magnet for it. It's not magic, it's resonance. The law of resonance says that energy of similar vibration attracts and amplifies itself. That means your emotions are not just reactions, they are creative signals. When you live in frustration, fear, or lack, you send out a low, heavy vibration. It matches experiences that mirror that same feeling. More waiting, more struggle, more uncertainty. But when you raise your frequency through gratitude, peace, and faith, your energy begins to attract realities that reflect those emotions. This is why two people can live in the same world, but experience it completely differently. They're tuned to different energetic channels. The world doesn't change, their vibration does. So how do you shift your vibration to match your target reality? It begins with your thoughts. Every thought carries energy. Pay attention to what you say to yourself throughout the day. Is your inner dialogue supportive or critical? Is it hopeful or fearful? Most of the time, people run mental programs they're not even aware of, stories of limitation that play in the background and quietly shape their world. To change your vibration, you must first clean that inner space. Notice the thought patterns that keep you small. When you catch yourself repeating them, pause, breathe, and choose differently. Replace "I can't" with "I can learn." Replace "it never works for me" with "it's already aligning." These shifts seem small, but energetically, they're powerful. The next step is releasing resistance. Resistance shows up as tension, worry, or over-control. It's the part of you that doesn't trust the process and wants to force results. But the universe responds best to openness. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means allowing energy to flow without blockage. When you stop clinging to the old story, new possibilities can reach you. Every time you relax into trust instead of panic, your vibration rises naturally. And then comes the most overlooked piece: consistency and presence. You can't just shift your energy once and expect instant change. Frequency alignment is a practice. It's the small daily choices that reshape your reality. Choosing calm instead of chaos, gratitude instead of complaint, faith instead of fear. Each time you make that choice, you strengthen a new energetic pattern. You start to feel lighter, clearer, more grounded. That's when the leap happens, not as a sudden miracle, but as the natural result of consistent alignment. Reality responds to who you are being right now, not who you promise to become later. When you keep your focus in the present moment and align your inner state again and again, you become a steady signal to the universe. And once your vibration matches the frequency of the life you desire, it has no choice but to meet you halfway. Once you've tuned your vibration to match the reality you want, the next step is to live as if you are already there. This is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. You can't wait for proof before you start acting like the person you want to become. You must lead with belief. When you embody the version of yourself that already exists in your target reality, you send a powerful signal to the universe that says, "This is who I am now." You begin to act, speak, and think in alignment with that version, and life starts rearranging itself to match you. Start simple. Look at how the version of you in that new reality carries themselves. How do they talk to people? How do they make decisions? How do they treat themselves when things go right, or when things go wrong? Begin to copy their energy before the external world changes. If you want to embody confidence, notice how that version of you stands, how they breathe, how they respond to challenges. You don't wait to feel confident to act confidently. You act that way first, and the feeling follows. Your outer expression, how you dress, how you organize your space, how you move through the world, is a mirror of your inner state. If you want to experience abundance, start creating small moments of abundance right now. Treat yourself with respect. Keep your surroundings clean and intentional. Allow yourself to enjoy little luxuries, a meal you love, a quiet moment of gratitude, a walk in nature. These acts aren't about spending money or pretending. They're about sending an energetic message that you already live in the reality. When you move through your day with that vibration, you start to naturally attract experiences that reflect it. Don't worry about the how. The mind loves to ask, how will it happen? When will it happen? But that's not your job. Your job is to be the person it's already happening to. When you stay focused on the how, you slip back into the energy of doubt and control. When you focus on being, you open the space for alignment and synchronicity. The universe is efficient. It fills the gaps for those who are already living as if the change is complete. Think about it this way. You can't receive a new frequency while clinging to the old one. You can't live in the energy of waiting and expect to become the version of you who has. So stop waiting for the right time or perfect conditions. Begin now. Speak like the future version of you would speak. Make choices they would make. Surround yourself with things that remind you of that state. Your actions, no matter how small, are signals to the quantum field. This is how reality catches up. You start by imagining the person you wish to be. Then day by day, you live a little more like them. You begin to walk differently, think differently, respond differently, and then something subtle but powerful happens. The line between imagination and reality disappears. You stop acting as if and start simply being. That's when the universe recognizes the shift, because you've already become the person who belongs in that reality. Before any transformation unfolds, there's a temptation we all face, the need to know how it will happen. The human mind craves certainty. It wants to see a clear path before it takes a single step. But in the process of trying to control every detail, we often block the very flow that could carry us forward. Many people never experience their quantum leap because they spend all their energy figuring out the mechanics instead of trusting the movement. They plan, they analyze, they worry, but they forget that transformation doesn't come from logic, it comes from alignment. When you try to predict every twist and turn of the journey, you signal to the universe that you don't fully believe it can unfold without your control. This energy of resistance keeps you anchored to your current reality. You say you're open to change, but your vibration says I'll only move if I know how it ends. The truth is, the how isn't your job, it's the universe's. Your only task is clarity and faith. Define what you want and who you choose to be within that desire.
Once you know those two things, the rest begins to arrange itself in ways your mind could never plan. Think about the last time something amazing happened unexpectedly. Maybe it was meeting the right person at the right moment, finding an opportunity that seemed random, or realizing something you'd been hoping for suddenly appeared. That's what happens when you stop interfering with the process and start trusting it. The leap doesn't come from forcing, it comes from surrender, a calm knowing that once you've chosen your destination, the universe will take care of the details. So instead of obsessing over the steps, focus on the essence. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Not just in material terms but emotionally and energetically. What kind of experiences do I want to attract? What version of me would naturally live that life? Once you define that version, begin embodying it with confidence. When your focus shifts from controlling outcomes to becoming aligned with the feeling of your desired reality, the path opens naturally. You'll notice coincidences that guide you, intuitive nudges that point the way, and opportunities that arrive when you least expect them. This approach might feel uncomfortable at first because we're taught that control equals power, but in truth, power comes from trust. When you believe that the universe responds to your energy, you stop micromanaging life and start flowing with it. The more you release the need to know how it will all unfold, the faster things begin to move. It's like loosening your grip on a balloon. You stop holding it down, and it rises on its own. So make your decision clear. Know what you desire. Decide who you will be within that vision, and let go of the rest. Every time your mind tries to calculate the how, remind yourself that it's already being handled beyond your awareness. When you live in trust instead of tension, you align with the rhythm of creation itself, and in that state, things unfold not because you force them, but because you finally allow them. Every decision you make carries energy. Every choice, no matter how small, is like a signal sent out to the universe about who you believe you are and what kind of reality you belong to. The quantum leap isn't always one big dramatic jump. It's often a series of tiny deliberate shifts that slowly bring your inner world into harmony with your desired one. Every moment gives you a chance to choose differently. Each time you pick a thought, a word, a response, you are either aligning with your current reality or the one you want to create. Think of it like tuning a radio. The frequency of your desired life already exists. It's just waiting for you to dial in. Every decision helps you adjust that dial. The more often you choose actions, thoughts, and feelings that belong to your target reality, the stronger your signal becomes. Eventually, you find yourself fully tuned in, and what once seemed far away begins to appear around you naturally. This is how real transformation happens, through repeated alignment in small, intentional ways. Start noticing what surrounds you daily, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, the environments you step into. They all influence your vibration. If you want to step into peace, but you spend your time in chaos, your energy will stay conflicted. If you want abundance, but you constantly feed your mind with fear and lack, you'll keep attracting scarcity. Every moment is an opportunity to choose alignment. When you catch yourself slipping into old patterns, pause and redirect. Ask yourself, would the version of me I'm becoming think this, say this, or do this? The power of small shifts cannot be overstated. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about creating micro-alignments that compound into major transformation. For instance, if your new reality involves confidence, maybe your small shift today is speaking kindly to yourself instead of criticizing. If your vision is success, maybe your shift is spending 10 minutes visualizing that reality instead of scrolling through negativity. Over time, these little moments add up, forming a new energetic baseline that pulls you into the reality you've been imagining. What you read, watch, and listen to matters just as much as what you think. Surround yourself with energy that uplifts you and mirrors your desired state. Choose media that inspires rather than drains you. Spend time in spaces where you feel elevated and expansive. You don't need to cut everything else out completely, but be intentional. The more your daily environment reflects where you want to go, the easier it becomes for your mind and body to accept that reality is normal. Every day, you're shaping your timeline through your choices. The path to your new reality isn't hidden. It's built one decision at a time. Whether you say yes or no, whether you stay or walk away, whether you scroll or study, these tiny acts carry immense power. Your future isn't waiting for one big leap. It's waiting for your next small alignment. Each moment whispers an invitation. Choose again. When you begin to answer that call, you start living from the energy of your new world before it even appears, and soon enough it will. Before you can truly shift your reality, you must face what's holding you back from it. Most people want to quantum leap, but deep down they carry invisible walls built from old beliefs. These beliefs whisper things like, "I'm not good enough," "it's too late for me," or "that kind of life isn't possible." These thoughts might sound small, but they shape everything. They quietly tell your mind where the limits are, and when you believe those limits, your energy follows them, recreating the same patterns again and again. To move beyond them, you first have to see them. Pay attention to the stories you repeat in your head. When you think about your dreams, what's the first emotion that rises? Is it excitement or doubt? If it's doubt, that's your belief system showing you where to look. Write it down. Don't judge it. Just bring it into the light. Journaling helps because it slows your thoughts and lets you catch the lies that run in the background. When you see them written out, they lose some of their power. You realize they're not truth. They're habits of thought. From there, self-talk becomes your daily practice of reprogramming. Every time an old belief surfaces, talk back to it with gentleness and certainty. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning how." Replace "it's not for me" with "it's possible for me too." The goal isn't to force positivity, it's to build trust within yourself. You're not trying to convince your mind of something false, you're reminding it of what's already real beneath the fear. Meditation can help quiet the noise that keeps old beliefs alive. When you sit in stillness, you can feel the difference between your true self and the stories you've carried. The more you connect with that still awareness, the easier it becomes to let go of what doesn't belong to you anymore. You start to see that those beliefs aren't part of your essence. They're echoes from experiences, people or environments that once shaped you, but no longer define you. Clearing energetic baggage is also important. Every unresolved emotion, guilt, shame, fear, creates energetic weight that keeps you anchored in the past. When you process those feelings through breathwork, journaling, or forgiveness, you lighten your frequency. That's when space opens up for new energy to flow in. This part can feel messy or even painful, but it's the cleansing that allows the leap to happen. Understand that discomfort is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of expansion. When you move beyond old beliefs, your mind and body will resist at first because it feels unfamiliar. The fear you feel isn't proof that you're wrong, it's proof that you're growing. Every quantum leap requires crossing that edge where the old world ends and the new one begins. That edge feels shaky, uncertain, even lonely sometimes. But if you stay with it, breathe through it, and keep choosing truth over fear, you'll notice something incredible. Those limiting beliefs start to dissolve, and what replaces them isn't just confidence or motivation. It's a calm knowing that you've always been enough. And now you finally remember. You've just learned how to shift from where you are into where you truly want to be, not through luck or chance but through alignment. When your mind, energy, identity, and actions all move in the same direction, reality has no choice but to follow. You've seen how your thoughts shape timelines, how your feelings tune your frequency, and how every small decision builds momentum toward the version of life you desire. The leap isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create from within. So start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or clearer proof. The quantum leap begins the moment you decide to believe in it. It starts when you stop living from your past and start living from your potential. Step into that version of yourself. Speak like them, think like them, act like them, and watch as your world begins to transform around you. Remember, you are the one making the leap. Reality isn't far away. It's waiting for your signal. The version of life you dream about already exists. All it needs is for you to align with it, completely, consistently, courageously. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your journey to the new reality begins today. Stay focused, stay aligned, and never forget, the power to leap is already inside you.